Hello and welcome back to my channel, and welcome to day 13 of from Christy's Beautiful Life 30 Days of Sketches Series 5. And today's sketch is another sketch by Anna Castro from Scrap en Musique, and we've done one of her sketches before, just I think was it maybe day 8 or day 9, and I do love her designs. I had never heard of her before Christy chose these sketches, so I love them. So let's see what I got up to today. So here is my take on the sketch. So I kept the sort of diagonal design that was here with this lovely cluster down at the bottom. There was another little bit of sort of mixed media over here, which I moved over to the left side because I did put my photo block a little bit more central. Still a little offset, but a little bit more central than she had done, so it didn't really leave as much room there. And I do like a true diagonal design. It's always one of my favorite designs, so I chose to do that small modification. My photo block, I do have the two photos. Mine are a little bit more askew. The difference in sizing is probably a little bit more as well. They are rectangular instead of square. And then for my banners, of course, I need to do things in odd numbers, so I have 3 banners instead of 2. But I think the sketch, I still think I stuck fairly closely to the sketch. So I got my hexagon stencil out and a brown ink from Stampin' Up. I think it was soft suede. And the first thing I did was, of course, do a little bit of the mixed media behind here, as I feel behind the photos here, she did have some mixed media that was extending out from the photos. So I did the same thing. I brought it down a little bit lower because I found that just sticking out, I don't know, I think maybe I had some in the corners here, and then the bottom here just looked a little bit odd. So I just chose to bring it down a little bit as well. In the 2 corners, I did the same stenciling. And then I added, because I felt that that made it rather dark, so I decided to do some sprinkles, and I did some splattering here. I did Heidi Swap Color Shine in gold and a Heidi Swap Color Shine in teal. I put the teal first, and the gold was probably a little bit of an afterthought, but I think it just brightens everything up. And then I took a page out of my lovely friend Christy's book, and I did some tearing. I did quite a large one here. I don't think I did that on purpose, but quite a large tear here. A smaller, more normal size tear up there. Distressed the edges a little bit and inked them with the same ink. And then I used this paper here, which was from this Vicky Bouton Kaleidoscope 6x8 paper pad. And again, I wanted a little bit more color, so I just added that behind, which just brought in a little bit of a pop of the teal, the blue, the lighter colors to give a little bit of brightness. I mounted my photos here on another paper from the 6x8 paper pad in Kaleidoscope. This is also from Kaleidoscope. My photos are up on foam, as are my banners, actually. So everything, the entire photo block here, including the banners, I popped up on foam, and it gives a really nice shadow. I don't know whether you can see that, but I find it gives a nice shadow and dimension. So I got that down. And then I did what I normally do, which is just look for areas, some little nooks and crannies to embellish. I put here Happy Life. I went into my Jilly Bean Soup Alpha Beans for Footloose. This is a photo during my 1-year backpacking trip. This is actually me with my full backpack, the big one on my back, the small one that I used to wear on the front, which was a little bit more of a day pack that I had every day. These are my walking boots. Now, I've scrapped this photo before just about the boots, and therefore the mileage or the number of kilometers that I walked that entire year, that I did on trains, on planes, on buses. So I did do that. But here, this one is going to be a little bit more of a personal page, and I'm going to be doing my journaling, I think, all along here. And it's going to be fairly personal, so I didn't do it before I recorded the video, about why the year-long trip, what it brought for me, what it changed in my life, what it made me realize. So a little bit of a reflective page, and this is going to go into my, not my travel albums, but rather into sort of my own personal story albums. I call it the early years, but this is really not all that long ago, although this trip was 15 years ago now, when I was about to turn, just a couple of years before I turned 50. So I got that mounted up here, Footloose, which goes with part of the journaling. Then I wanted to get a little bit of cork in. I had 2 of the lovely hearts left from the Spiegel Mom scrap. Here is my empty package, Forever Love Hearts. There were 10 of them. I've used up the last 2. This one I put up on foam because I had a little bit of dimension under here. This one is flat to the page. So here I had a sheet of cork myself. So I just punched out this little shape here, tucked it in this little cranny, and then I got some wood veneer hearts out, which are also from Spiegel Mom scraps, but I haven't finished those. And I tinted them in a blue that was darker than this blue here, but that sort of just added a little bit of the blues that were in the photo and in the paper here. So I put 2 hearts here, 2 hearts here, and 1 little heart there. And that is really all of the embellishment, because I find with the mixed media, the stenciling in the background, the splattering, the tearing, and the pieces of paper here, it really didn't need a lot. The photos are quite prominent, which is what I want. I need room for my journaling, which is also what I want. So then basically, just so that I would not have this page on a 12 by 12, either white or vanilla by itself, you know me, I mounted it on a Simple Stories paper, which I gutted. And this is quite an older Simple Stories collection. It's one of their winter, I think maybe, was it Winter Wonderland? And I don't know, I think is it 2014 or 2015. I would have received this, I think, actually in one of the last Scraptastic kits when they were just about finishing up. So there you go. That is my day 13. Please don't forget to go pop on down below and see what all my lovely friends got up to today. Christy, of course, Crystal, Shannon, Daisy, Jennifer over on Instagram. And I am pre-recording this, so if there is another friend joining us today, I will have that link down below as well. So come back and see us tomorrow. In the meantime, have a wonderful day, and thanks for being here. Bye.